Okay, think for a second about something you probably don't give much thought to day to day. Silicone rubber.
Right. It's sort of everywhere when you look.
Exactly. Phone cases, kitchen utensils, medical devices, cars, and the global market for it. It's surprisingly big. We're talking an estimated USD 200 and 851.5 million just in 2025.
That's a hefty number.
It is. So for this deep dive, we've gone through a pretty comprehensive market report. The kind that pulls together data from chemical industry sources, scientific publications, government stats, the whole nine yards.
A lot of data points to synthesize.
Definitely. And our mission here is simple. Pull out the key insights. What's the current state of the silicone rubber market? Where's it heading? And why should you care? Make it all easy to grasp.
Sounds good. And the first thing that really jumps out from the analysis is the sheer momentum.
From growth, you mean?
Yeah, that USD 2.8 billion figure for 2025, that's not the peak. The forecast shows it climbing to, let's see, USD 14.914155 million by 2033.
Wow, okay, so quite a jump.
A big jump. If you look at the compound annual growth rate, CAGR, that averages out to 6.20% per year between 2025 and 2033.
And this is based on?
The report uses 2024 as the base year, looking back at historical data from 2021 to sort of establish the trend, then estimates 2025 and projects out to 2033.
Got it. So significant expansion ahead. But geographically, where's this growth happening? I think you mentioned North America is a big player right now.
Absolutely. In 2025, North America holds the largest slice, actually. Over 29% of the global revenue.
Which translates to?
USD 826.94 million. And the growth there is projected at a pretty steady 4.2% CAGR through 2033.
And within North America?
Well, the U.S. is the giant, of course. USD 652.45 million in 2025, growing at about 4.0%. The report highlights its advanced medical sector and ongoing infrastructure projects as key drivers.
Makes sense.
Then you have Canada, smaller market at USD 99.23 million, but a slightly higher growth rate, 5.0% CAGR, largely thanks to automotive demand. And Mexico adds another USD 75.25 million, growing at 4.7%.
Okay. Now, moving across the pond to Europe, still a major region, right? Over 24% share.
That's right. Market size there is about USD 684.36 million in 2025. The overall CGR for Europe is pegged at 5.1%.
But I imagine it's not uniform growth across the continent.
No, definitely not. It's actually quite interesting when you break it down. The UK, for instance, is at USD 114.97 million with a 5.9% CGR. The report suggests stricter environmental regulations might be boosting demand there.
Interesting.
Then Germany, the largest market in Europe at USD 135.50 million, growing at 5.3%, seems driven by its strength in medical technology.
Okay.
France, Italy, Spain show more moderate growth, sort of in the 4% range. Russia's quite large, USD 106 million, but slower growth at 4.1%.
Now, what about some of the smaller nations? I noticed Sweden, Denmark, Switzerland, even Luxembourg seem to have decent CGRs listed.
Yeah, they do. Sweden at 5.2%, Denmark 4.9%, Switzerland 4.7%, Luxembourg actually at 5.4%. It suggests, specific niche industries or applications are really thriving in those areas.
It really shows how diverse the demand drivers can be regionally.
Exactly. Even the rest of Europe category still shows a 3.8% growth rate. So the demand is broad.
But the real story, the fastest growth, that seems to be in Asia Pacific.
Oh, absolutely. APAC is the leader in terms of market share and growth rate. It holds around 37% of the global revenue in 2025.
That's huge. What's the dollar figure?
USD 155.06 million. And crucially, its projected CAGR is the highest globally, a very strong 8.0% from 2025 to 2033.
Wow. So that's really where the action is accelerating. Is that mostly China?
China is definitely a major factor. It accounts for USD 443.12 million and has a robust 7.5% CAGR. Increased healthcare spending and infrastructure development are big drivers there.
But not just China.
Not at all. Japan is significant at USD 145.60 million, 6.5% growth. South Korea, USD 126.61 million, growing even faster at 7.1%. And India. India really stands out.
Why India specifically?
It has the highest projected CAGR in the region, maybe even globally, at 9.9%. A huge factor cited is the rapid growth in electric vehicle production there.
EVs again. That connection keeps popping up.
It does. And you also see strong growth in Australia, 7.3%, Singapore, 8.3%, Taiwan, 7.8%, and Southeast Asia as a whole is projected at 8.8%. It's really widespread dynamism.
Okay, let's quickly cover the other regions. South America, Middle East.
Right. South America holds a bit over 4% of the global share. That's about USD 108.36 million in 2025, with a respectable 6.9% CAGR. Brazil leads there, 7.5% growth, linked to healthcare investments again. Argentina is showing 7.8% growth tied to tech advancements.
In the Middle East.
Similar share, around 4%. About USD 114.06 million market size. But the growth is projected a bit higher at 7.5% CAGR. Turkey stands out with 8.1% growth, driven by demand for high-performance materials.
Yeah.
The UAE is also strong at 8.0%. Saudi Arabia holds the largest share.
Got it. And finally, Africa. Smallest share, I believe.
Yeah, around 2.2% share, so USD 62.73 million in 2025. The projected growth mirrors the global average, actually, at 6.2% CAGR. South Africa's key there, USD 22 million market, growing at 7.1%, boosted by its medical industry. Nigeria is also mentioned, 6.4% growth, helped by government support for local manufacturing.
Okay, that gives us a great map of the world. Now let's zoom in. What types of silicone rubber are we talking about, and what are they actually being used for?
Good question. The report segments the market by type, application, and end-use industry. So by type, the main ones listed are liquid silicone rubber, or LSR, high-temperature vulcanized, HTV, room-temperature vulcanized, RTV, and fluorosilicone rubber.
And is there a dominant type?
The analysis suggests LSR, the liquid silicone rubber, likely holds the largest share.
Which makes sense, right? It's very versatile, good for precision molding.
Exactly. Its superior properties, that precision, it's used across medical, automotive, electronics, consumer goods. It all adds up.
Nice.
Plus, the demand is increasing for things like medical implants, wearables, EV components, areas where LSR shines. And it lends itself well to automation.
Okay, so LSR is big. But is anything growing particularly fast?
Yes, fluorosilicone rubber. It's projected to have the highest CAGR.
Fluorosilicone, why is that one taking off?
It comes down to its exceptional resistance properties.
Yeah.
It stands up really well to fuels, oils, chemicals, and extreme temperatures, both hot and cold.
Ah, so for demanding environments.
Precisely. Think aerospace, automotive fuel systems, tough industrial applications, the need for really robust components in high-performance vehicles, aircraft, defense applications, plus stricter emission rules pushing for better sealing. It's all driving demand for fluorosilicone.
Okay, that covers the types. Now, how is this stuff actually used, the applications?
Right, the applications. Key ones are gaskets and seals, adhesives and sealants, coatings and encapsulants, things like catheters and tubing in medical, and then in others category.
And the biggest application, I'm guessing gaskets and seals.
You got it. They likely hold the largest market share. It's pretty logical. Seals are critical in so many industries. And silicone's properties, like handling temperature extremes and providing a reliable seal, make it ideal.
And demand is growing there too.
Yeah, especially driven by EVs needing good seals, medical equipment requiring high-purity seals, high-performance electronics, plus safety and emissions regs again.
So gaskets and seals are the biggest use. What's the fastest growing application?
That appears to be adhesives and sealants.
Interesting. Why the rapid growth there?
They're seeing increased use across the board: automotive, construction, electronics, healthcare. Silicone adhesives offer, great bonding strength, but also flexibility, plus weather and thermal resistance.
Where are they being used specifically?
Think sealing EV battery packs, structural glazing in buildings where you need weather resistance and flexibility, bonding components in miniaturized electronics, assembling medical devices. Demand is really broad. Infrastructure projects, the push for lightweight vehicles, tiny electronics, it all fuels the need for advanced adhesives and sealants.
Okay, type application. Now let's look at the end-use industries. Who are the biggest customers?
The main sectors are electronics, aerospace, construction, medical, automotive, and consumer products.
And the largest single industry consuming silicone rubber is?
Electronics, according to the analysis.
Really? More than automotive or medical?
Apparently so, in terms of current share. It makes sense when you think about all the insulation, sealing, potting, and protection needed for electronic components. Silicone's thermal stability, flexibility, electrical insulation properties, resistance. It's perfect for electronics.
And things like 5G, smaller devices, EVs must be driving that.
Exactly. Miniaturization, heat management in powerful devices, protecting sensitive components in cars. It all adds up.
But you mentioned medical earlier as a key driver too. Is that the fastest growing end-use sector?
That seems to be the case. The medical segment is showing really rapid growth. There's just a huge and rising demand for materials that are biocompatible, durable, yet flexible.
For things like implants and tubing.
Right. Implants, prosthetics, catheters, tubing, seals for medical equipment, and LSR, that liquid silicone rubber, is especially important for things like wearable health monitors and advanced drug delivery systems.
And what's behind that surge in medical demand?
A few big factors. Rising rates of chronic diseases, the aging global population needing more medical interventions, and the continued advancements in minimally invasive surgery, which often relies on specialized silicone instruments and components.
Okay, so if we boil down the main forces pushing this market forward.
The report really highlights three key drivers. Number one, that growing demand in the automotive and transportation industry, especially EVs. Number two, the expanding medical and healthcare applications we just discussed. And number three, the increasing demand from the electronics industry.
Those seem like powerful long-term trends.
They really are.
But are there any brakes on this growth, any restraints?
Yes, the main one identified is cost. High production costs and the volatility in prices for the raw materials needed to make silicone rubber, that can limit growth, especially in cost-sensitive applications.
Price always matters. Now, looking ahead, what are the big trends shaping the future of this market?
Two major trends pop out from the analysis. First, that rising demand for liquid silicone rubber, LSR, its versatility and performance advantages are making it increasingly popular.
We covered that. What's the second trend?
A significant shift towards sustainable and bio-based silicone rubber.
Ah, the green angle.
Exactly. There's growing pressure across industries for more environmentally friendly materials. So the silicone industry is responding, work on developing alternatives derived from renewable resources or with a lower environmental footprint. That's a big area of R&D right now.
Makes sense. Now, this sounds like a dynamic market. Who are the main companies involved? Is it concentrated or fragmented?
It's described as highly competitive. There are several major global players. Names like Wacker Chemie, Dow, Shinetsu, Momentive, Elkem, KCC Corporation pop up. Also Race Manufacturing, Zhejiang Shinan, Winca.
So some big chemical names there.
Yes, companies with strong R&D, broad product portfolios. But the competition is getting tougher, especially with the demand growing for specialized types like LSR and those bio-based options.
And are we seeing consolidation or partnerships?
Definitely. The report mentions mergers, acquisitions, strategic partnerships becoming more common. Companies are trying to expand globally, improve efficiency, and gain access to new technologies or markets.
Any specific examples?
Yeah, a couple were highlighted. Elkem opened a new facility specifically for medical-grade LSR in South Carolina back in November 2022. That shows a clear focus on that high-growth medical sector. And just recently, June 2024, Wacker announced a major expansion of its silicone specialties production in the Czech Republic. A big investment specifically aimed at boosting supply for, guess what, electromobility and medical care.
Right, back to those key drivers.
Exactly. It really shows where these companies see the future demand and where they're placing their bets.
So wrapping this all up, it's clear the global silicone rubber market is, well, much more significant than many might assume. And it's set for pretty robust growth.
Absolutely. It's not just a large market, it's a growing one. And it's deeply embedded in critical industries that are themselves undergoing major transformations.
Yeah, this seemingly everyday material is actually a key enabler for huge trends like electric vehicles, advanced medical devices, next-gen electronics.
Couldn't have said it better. Its unique properties make it vital for innovation in those fields.
It really does make you stop and think about how pervasive it is. Consider all the things around you, technologies you rely on that use silicone rubber. As this market grows, like the analysis suggests, how might that spur even more innovation? What new products or solutions might become possible? And, where else could this incredibly versatile material show up next? That's something to chew on.